So, if you want to be more creative, I want to talk to you about something that I learned from reading essentially like the leading scientist on creativity. Like, he's the guy who made the word flow state. And he talked about what I think is pretty interesting, like 10 personality types of creative people. And I kind of wanted to just share like my thoughts on them and why I think it's kind of true that in a lot of ways, there are certain characteristics of creative people that if you follow, you can be more creative. Um, and so, if you're someone that's looking to be more creative, whether it's in your work or just add that little element of creativity to your life, like I think it will help. So, I kind of want to just talk about those things. The first point, and this is something that I've always felt for the longest time, is that like the best life, and this is kind of like a Instagram quote statement, but like, and an oversimplification, generalization, blah blah blah. But the best life is one that's like vibrant. It's like full of colors, a wide range of things. Like you have the highs and the lows. It's not just like a constant nothingness. And is actually expressed in this as well. It's like creative people often, they're on both ends of the spectrum, polar opposites. And I'll kind of talk about this in a second, but in key personality traits where most people like strongly favor one thing, creative people tend to be like both opposites at the same time. And I think that's kind of like evidence to what I was saying before, where it's like, if you want to experience a wider range of life, like be able to experience more things coming at it from multiple perspectives, how you do that. So I want to go over what are the 10 essentially paradoxes of creative people. So the first thing is that a lot of times creative people are both energetic and restful, meaning that they have a lot of energy because they're, creating something that they like, but they're also resting and like taking time to analyze what they're doing. Um, how this kind of applies is this, right? When you're working, you're on, you're focused, you're in focus mode, you're doing what you're doing at the highest level. But when you're off, you're off. You're not working, you're not thinking about work, you're on vacation mode. Um, can you do that more? Can you add more of that in your life? Do you lean one way or the other? Are you more restful? Are you more energetic? And if you're one or the other, how do you add both? Because it is true that if you're resting all the time, then you're not going to make anything. But if you're always going, always doing, like having the rest, having the like sitting back and analysis time is beneficial so you can go back out and go do again. And I thought this was quite interesting. I feel like I kind of do this a lot. Like I'm definitely a very energetic person, but I also sleep like 9 or 10 hours a day. So the next kind of paradox you could say is that creative people kind of embody this ideal of being smart, like they have raw intelligence, right? But they're also naive. They have that childlike curiosity. Kind of mixing both together is how you are creative. And I guess I should have clarified this in the beginning, but when I say the word creativity, what I mean is like, I don't just mean, oh, that's interesting and nice and new. It's like to be creative means that you bring something new into the world that is good, that is valuable. So in order to do that, you have to be intelligent. You have to like know what the world is looking for. And you also have to be like curious and childlike because there's plenty of smart people that just stay in the box. They stay within the rules. You have to be willing to like look outside, look around, see what's missing to bring your vision of the world into reality. So being smart and being naive, can you really call yourself smart? I don't know. But trying to be more of both is a good ideal. The third kind of paradox is that creative people are playful and disciplined, meaning that they have fun, they're joyous, they're bubbly, but they're also like very reserved. And like again, it's a paradox of things. But when I look in my own life, when I reflect on myself, I would say, I'm a 4 a.m. wake up person, but if I'm going out to party, I'm going hard. Like I'm gonna go hard, and like That's kind of that's a funny thing to say, but it's the truth. It's like when I'm playing, I'm playing. Like I'm gonna have the most fun of anyone ever. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. But when I'm locked in and working and disciplined and creating something that I care about, that's what I'm doing. And I think it's important to have that balance. You know, what is the work for? It's to have fun, but you can't just have pleasure all the time. You have to have that structure and discipline and routine. I think they work off of each other. The next thing is being both imaginative, like seeing the future, having a vision for what you want the world to look like, but also being grounded in reality and like knowing what the world is right now. You know, if 200 years ago you tried to introduce ChatGPT, no one would accept it, right? It's like also obviously wouldn't have been able to, but the idea is like you have to present things in the time that you're in. You have to know the world that you live in. Like you can't live in the clouds in a glass tower. Um, Obviously, it's important to imagine a better future, but it's also important to be realistic and know the world and the boundaries upon which you are trying to break. You can't break boundaries without knowing the boundaries. So the next one, which is honestly like I think this is the coolest one, is extrovert introvert. Like obviously the most standard personality type that you would know, introvert extrovert. You know who you are right away, but creative people kind of fall in the middle of both, right? They're what are called ambiverts. Sometimes they're introverted, sometimes they're extroverted. And what a lot of people don't know about introversion and extroversion is it's not just like, oh, I like being around people or I don't like being around people. It's actually, what do you get energy from? Do you get energy from being alone or do you get energy from being around other people? Creative people get both. They get energy from being alone and they also get energy from being around other people. And I honestly think this is like something that you can choose. Like some people think that, oh, I'm an extrovert and I'm never going to be able to be an introvert ever, or I'm an introvert and I'll never be able to be an extrovert. I don't believe that. Like I genuinely think I've exhibited both in my own life. There have been phases where when I'm locked in my room, I'm an introvert. And when I'm, out having fun, I'm an extrovert. I would just say to yourself, like, look at yourself. Are you leaning one way or the other? And like, is there a better way for you to go in the middle? Because again, it's going to make you more creative and also just make your life more enjoyable because you're getting energy from more places. So the next one is being humble and proud. And this one was also interesting to me as well. It kind of just makes sense, right? The highest achievers recognize the fact that their achievement was themselves, but also the result of so much more than themselves. I think it was either Einstein or Newton that said, like, I'm standing on the shoulders of the giants that stood before me. So I'm doing something great, but it wouldn't have been possible without the people that came before me. Um, Recognizing that is a trait of successful, creative people that add things to the world. Um, Another interesting one, and again, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about with like experiencing more colors, more perspectives, is creative people, high achievers in general, they kind of exemplify both masculine and feminine traits. And again, this is like more colors, more ways to see the world. Are you stuck in one viewpoint or can you see the world in multiple different ways? Can you have that like fatherly discipline and the motherly care? Like are those both traits that you can see the world with? Doesn't necessarily mean you have to like be both of them, but can you see the world through both lenses? Because it's important. Um, Going on to the eighth one, being conservative and also being rebellious. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying before about being imaginative and also realistic. The idea is you can't just always rebel. You can't just always go against the norm, reject everything that exists. You have to also know the boundaries upon which you're operating in. You have to understand the world before you can go out and change it, right? Um, so the idea is creative people are rebellious. That's like a standard stereotype. But in a lot of ways, they also understand the way the world operates. One of the things that I'm trying to do right now is like understand how this world of social media works, because I at some point want to break it, but I need to know how the game works. I need to know how to play the game before I can break the game, if that makes sense. Going on to the second to last point, creative people care about what they do. Like one of the things, and I know I haven't really talked about it much on this channel, but I left the last opportunity that I was working on, a marketing agency, because it just lacked passion. I didn't care about what I was doing. And when I read this the other day, it just made it click in my head. Like, creative people are passionate about what they do. They care deeply about the work they do, but they're also objective in the world. They see it as what it is. I'm going to post this video, and it's probably not going to get many views because I'm not the best at making videos, and I know that. But I care about it. I'm passionate. And so I think it's balancing both. It's understanding that you can be passionate while also being objective and saying, I'm a level 1 beginner at this skill, and I'm going to get better. And so that's how creative people and high achievers in general operate. And then the last point, which again I kind of like as well, it's kind of funny, like creative people, because they operate again with a wide range of colors, experience more emotions, meaning that they experience the highest highs and the lowest lows. Like the reality of being an artist, and it doesn't have to be like a physical painter or something, but the reality of being an artist is that you care deeply about the work that you do. You care about what you do. And that's a great thing. That means that when it does well, you feel enjoyment. But when it doesn't do well, you don't. And as much as like you're trying to detach yourself from the outcome, it's just an inevitable thing. So what does this really mean? Like, if you want to be more creative, think about where you're at on these 10 personality traits. Like, where are you on the spectrum? How do you try to get both opposites? Are you living with a full range of emotions, of colors? Are you seeing the vibrant world that we're in, or are you stuck in one perspective? The ability to see multiple perspectives, like to open your mind up and see different things, is really important. It's important because creating is literally the most important thing that you can do with your life, in my humble opinion. I just think creativity, creation is so important. Like, giving your gift to the world, whether it be a business or an art piece or whatever, like, give your gift to the world more, please. Like, that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting to see what you make. And anyways, if this kind of stuff interests you, please consider subscribing. Like I said, I'm really working on trying to get these videos to a place where I feel confident that I am making my own masterpiece works. But it's just going to take time to get there. I have to make more videos before they're going to be good. So yeah, I appreciate you for sticking around, hearing me yap and talk a little bit. Please consider subscribing and check out my Instagram below if you'd like to look at some more of my videos. Appreciate it. Have a good one.